Sophie had always been a little shy, the kind of girl who preferred the quiet corners of the playground to the bustling chaos of her classmates. When she was 6, she'd created a companion, a bright, cheerful girl named Ellie with curly red hair and a mischievous grin that only she could see. Ellie was Sophie's secret world, a confidant who listened to all her worries and played with her during lonely afternoons. For years, Ellie remained Sophie's constant friend. They'd bake imaginary cupcakes, explore enchanted forests, which Sophie had painstakingly drawn in her favorite notebook, and whisper secrets behind closed doors. No one else saw Ellie, and Sophie believed she was lucky. Her own secret best friend who never judged her, always agreed, and made her feel safe. But as Sophie grew older, her curiosity about the world expanded, and so did her doubts about Ellie. One day, at age 12, she deliberately tried to ignore Ellie during a walk home from school, shrugging her shoulders and muttering, "You're not real." That night, Sophie's bedroom was quiet except for the faint scrape of her pencil against paper as she tried to sketch a new design for her school project. Suddenly, she felt a chill, and the faint warmth of someone's breath caressed her neck. Sophie froze, her heart pounding, then turned around. Ellie was there, smiling softly, eyes gleaming with an odd, unsettling light. "I've been here all along," Ellie whispered, voice slipping between a normal tone and something darker, more strained. "You just didn't see me. But I'm still your friend." Sophie's stomach twisted. "You're not real," she whispered, trembling, clutching her sketchpad close to her chest. "You'll go away if I stop believing." Ellie's smile flickered, like a candle flame about to extinguish. "Oh, Sophie, I'm more real than ever because now I don't have to hide. I can do everything you're afraid to do." The room seemed to darken, shadows stretching like creeping fingers from the corners. Sophie scrambled back, knocking over her chair, but Ellie stepped closer, the air growing icy. The smile stretched wider, revealing sharp, pearly teeth that gleamed in the dim light. "You made me wait so long," Ellie said, voice sardonic now. "You thought you could ignore me forever. But I've been waiting for your doubts to unravel, for your fears to weaken." A sudden knock at her door startled Sophie. It was her mother calling from downstairs, but the voice sounded distant, warped, like a distorted echo. The room spun, and Sophie's breath grew ragged. "See, Sophie," Ellie whispered, voice echoing strangely, "you're not the only one who creates friends. Sometimes, the things we conjure aren't just in our minds. Sometimes, they come alive." Sophie's eyes widened in horror as Ellie's figure seemed to flicker, the once friendly girl now embodying something sinister. Her eyes blackened, face contorted into a wicked grin. Sophie pressed her back against the wall, trembling as Ellie's shadows billowed like smoke. "You don't understand," Ellie snarled, voice turning deeper, more guttural. "I'm not your imaginary friend anymore. I'm your new reality, and I don't want to go away." The shadows reached out, tendrils of darkness slithering across the room, creeping toward Sophie. She screamed, instinctively covering her face, but the cold claws sank into her skin, visible only to her. Suddenly, the door burst open, her mother rushing in, flashlight illuminating the room. The shadows recoiled, and Ellie's phantom form shattered like glass, bits of darkness dissolving into the air. Sophie gasped for breath, trembling as her mother hurried to her side, eyes wide with concern. "Sweetie, what happened?" Sophie looked around, her mind racing. Ellie had vanished, but that terrible chill still lingered in her bones. She wished she could forget, but deep down she knew, whatever Ellie was, whatever had taken hold that night, she could never truly escape it. Days passed, but Sophie refused to go into her room alone. Shadows continued to flicker at the edges of her vision, whispers echoing just beyond hearing. She often found herself glancing into the corners of her closet or peering behind her curtains, fearing Ellie's return. Then, one evening, Sophie sat at her desk, tired and trembling. She opened her notebook and began to sketch again, the same enchanted forest she'd always drawn. Her pencil moved seemingly on its own, tracing familiar trees and distant mountains. But this time, the lines felt wrong, jagged and twisting unnaturally. Suddenly, the paper beneath her pencil shimmered, and the forest took shape, except now, twisted and dark, with gnarled trees and ominous shadows lurking within. Sophie's breath hitched. Her heart pounding, she stared at the drawing, realization dawning that Ellie's influence hadn't left her, but had only twisted her imagination further. That night, Sophie awoke to a gentle whisper in the darkness. "You can't run forever," it cooed. "I'm still here. Always." And when she looked to her side, she saw Ellie's face, a wicked smile stretching across her features, no longer imaginary, and all too real. The shadows in her room lengthened, closing in around her. Sophie's screams echoed in the silent house as the darkness embraced her, and Ellie's evil grin lingered in the shadows, waiting patiently for her next friend, or victim.